Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to the February 16th edition of the Bracketology update. We are less than 1 month away from Selection Sunday, and man, I could not be any more excited than I am right now. I mean, look at all this movement over the course of the bracket that took place this last weekend, especially with the selection committee's reveal. If you haven't watched the selection committee's reveal of the top 16 seeds if the tournament were to start today, make sure you go watch that. The video got demonetized because, I mean, it was just a recording of the CBS screen or whatever. So it got copyrighted by Turner Sports or CBS Sports or whatever. But either way, go ahead and take a look. At least it helps my view count a little bit more. But before I get into the bracketology for this week, I want to say I will be doing a giveaway of I haven't decided yet. It's either going to be like two $25 winners, just like an Amazon gift card or something like that, or like a shirt off of Fanatics of your favorite team. Haven't decided which one of those I'm going to do yet, but the way that you can enter, and this will be in the description of the video below, is you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Super Celtic 24 here. You have to click the post notification bell, then take a screenshot of that, send it to me at AlexPrice24 on Instagram, and then you will be entered for the giveaway. I will be doing the giveaway if we hit 6,000 subscribers by Selection Sunday, which is March 14th. So I mean, that's what, 430 subscribers from this point to the 6,000 subscribers on March 14th. So make sure you are subscribed for that. I will be putting the steps on how to enter the giveaway in the description below, so that way it's just easier for you to be able to see. All you gotta do is subscribe, post notifications turned on. I mean, like the video if you want. I mean, that's going to be a huge part of the video and the success of this YouTube channel. And send it to me over at AlexPrice24 on Instagram. Go and follow me while you're at it. And yeah, that's just a giveaway for this. Since we can't do a NCAA tournament ticket giveaway, we are going to be doing that. So thank you guys for subscribing and all the support, and let's get into the actual bracketology portion of it. So taking a look here, there is a ton of movement. I mean, even last night we had Florida State just absolutely destroy Virginia. We also had Creighton beat Villanova, which was a huge win for Creighton. They righted that ship. I'm just taking a look here at the different movements. Over in Region 1, we still have Gonzaga as the #1 overall seed. LSU up to an 8, USC down to a 5, Western Kentucky new to the field as the representative of the Conference USA, Texas Tech down to a 4, Toledo down to a 13, Colorado up to a 6, North Carolina down to an 11, Iowa up to 3, Clemson up to 7, and Siena down to a 15. Then over there in Region 2, we have Baylor remaining the 1, BYU up to an 8, Xavier down to a 9, Wisconsin down to a 5. They had a great opportunity for a huge win over Michigan. Michigan was coming off of their own COVID pause, but they weren't able to secure the dub there. They were up by double digits, I think, in the second half, but Michigan just strung it together. I was watching that game, and Michigan just looks absolutely fantastic. Then we have Tennessee down to a 4 after losing to LSU. Colgate new to the field as a 13, Kansas down to a 6, Liberty down to a 14, Arkansas up to a 7 after a big win on the road against Missouri, Oregon up to a 10, and the Vermont new to the field as a 15. Then in Region 3, we have Michigan remaining the 1 there after that huge win over Wisconsin, UCLA down to a 9, Creighton up to a 5, Florida State up to a 4, Wright State new to the field as a 13, then Oklahoma up to a 3, UNC Greensboro down to a 14, and then Villanova, I don't know why I said Villanova, Minnesota down to a 10. Then over in Region 4, we have Ohio State remaining the 1 seed over there, the final #1 seed. James Madison new to the field as a 16. Loyola Chicago down to a 9 after splitting the weekend series with Drake, which is a huge win for Drake getting that win. I think it was either Sunday or Saturday. I don't remember which one, maybe Sunday. Then we have the playing game, the 12th spot of Stanford and Colorado State. UC Santa Barbara new to the field as a 13. Another playing game of Boise State and St. Bonaventure. Then Winthrop down to a 14. Rutgers down to a 7. And Sam Houston State up to a 15. So if we take a look at the bubble, last 4 byes are Minnesota, Indiana, North Carolina, and Drake. Last 4 in are St. Bonaventure, Boise State, Colorado State, and Stanford. First 4 out are Maryland, St. Louis, UConn, and Richmond. And then the next 4 out are Ole Miss, St. John's, Syracuse, and SMU. So before I get into my predictions for this bracketology, we got to come up with a food item for you guys to comment on this video, and we are going to comment, what should we do? Let's comment tuna. How about that? Just nice and simple tuna, super cheap to buy at the store, super easy fish to eat. I mean, it's a fan favorite. You can get it at Subway, whatever you want to do. So if you're watching at this point in the video, it's like 5 minutes in, comment tuna down below, T-U-N-A. So let's go and get into these predictions. So up first, we will have Gonzaga moving on past the winner of NC and Mount St. Mary's. That one's pretty obvious. LSU, I think, will fall to San Diego State there. Our first slight upset, a 9/8. But then I am going to go with a huge upset here and go with the 12/5 of Western Kentucky over USC. Western Kentucky is not your typical mid-major this year. They have a player who's projected to get taken in the first round of the draft in Charles Bassey. I think that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with here. And then Texas Tech, I think, will be able to beat Colorado. Then we're going to go, Texas Tech will beat Toledo. Then Colorado will beat North Carolina there. Iowa will beat Grand Canyon. Then Clemson, I think, will be able to hold off Indiana. I just don't really know what to think of Indiana this year. And then Houston will be able to beat Siena. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Gonzaga here moving on past San Diego State. Western Kentucky falling to Texas Tech there. I just believe in Texas Tech a lot this year if you haven't been watching my recent bracketologies. Then Iowa and Luka Garza will move on past Colorado. And then Houston with Quentin Grimes are going to move on past Clemson. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we got Gonzaga here moving on past Texas Tech. And then Iowa, a slight upset with a 3/2 over Houston, just with their Player of the Year contender and Luka Garza. They're going to move on to the Elite Eight, but then they are going to fall to the winners of that region, which are going to be Gonzaga. So if we go over to Region 2, we're going to have Baylor beat the winner of North Dakota State and Prairie View A&M, which doesn't matter who's going to win that. They're going to lose to Baylor anyway. Then Xavier pulling off another 9/8 upset. I almost said Wisconsin. Belmont will beat Wisconsin there. And another 12/5. Belmont, I think, is 20-1. Somebody commented on my last video. I don't remember what their exact record is, but they are looking fantastic as well, similar to Western Kentucky. I think they can get the job done there over Wisconsin. Wisconsin just has tons of moments there in their games where they just kind of go in stretches to where they don't really score, and I think Belmont can take advantage of that. Then Tennessee will beat Colgate. Then we're going to have Kansas beat VCU. If I can pick Tennessee, there we go. Kansas, they are going to beat VCU. Virginia will beat Liberty. Then I'm going to go with Arkansas beating Oregon and Illinois moving on past Vermont. Then Baylor will move on past Xavier. Then I'm going to go with another upset pick here and go with Belmont as the 12 seed moving on past Tennessee. Tennessee ranks 12th in the SEC in points per possession. They are under 1 point per possession in conference play, and they are just dropping games that they should not be at this point. I think they lost to Ole Miss a couple of games ago, and then they lost to LSU a couple of, last game, something like that. They just are not looking like a team that can make it super far in the tournament right now. And that is reflected from them being like a 2 seed at one point, now down to a 4, potentially falling down even further. So I do have Belmont pulling off the 12/4 upset there. I'm going to go with Virginia moving on past Kansas and Illinois moving on past Arkansas. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we have Baylor moving on here past Belmont, and then Illinois moving on past Virginia. And then a matchup here, I believe in Illinois as a Final Four team, but it just matters how the bracket shakes out. And they run into Baylor here, which they've already played this year. I think Baylor won by 13. I think it'll be closer than that when they play in the tournament, but it will have the same result. And Baylor moving on past Illinois. And then over in Region 3, we have Michigan moving on past Texas State. Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham moving on past UCLA. Creighton will move on past Utah State. If I can pick Creighton, there we go. Florida State will move on past Wright State. Then I think that Purdue can beat Drake there. I think Travion Williams and Purdue's supporting cast will be able to move them on here past Drake. Then Oklahoma will move on past UNC Greensboro. Oklahoma had a huge win on the road against West Virginia. Then Minnesota will pull off the 10/7 upset over Florida, and then Villanova will beat Eastern Washington. Then first spot in the Sweet 16, we got Michigan moving on past Oklahoma State, Florida State moving on past Creighton, Oklahoma moving on past Purdue, and then we'll have Villanova moving on past... Actually, you know what? We're going to go with an upset. We're going to go with 10-seed Minnesota moving on past Villanova. Villanova has lost to a lot of these mid-tier teams, kind of like Creighton and Virginia Tech this year. I think in Minnesota, I think can be anybody in the nation if they catch fire. I mean, they gave Michigan their only loss of the season. Minnesota's been inconsistent, but if they can catch fire at the right time, they can move on pretty far in the NCAA tournament. I'm going to go with them pulling off the 10/2 upset over Villanova. But then Michigan will move on past Florida State here in the Elite Eight, and then Oklahoma will move on past Minnesota. And then I'm going to have Michigan moving to the Final Four over Oklahoma. Then over in Region 4, we have Ohio State moving on past James Madison, Louisville moving on past Loyola Chicago, Missouri, Missouri is a prime candidate for a first-round upset for me. I mean, I've been saying it all along. Got a lot of hate in the last bracketology that I did for saying that. But, I mean, they've been proving me right. They just can't stay consistent enough to be one of those top-tier teams. And I think they were right for a first-round upset. But it won't be, and I spelled Stanford wrong. I put Standord. But I will go with Missouri here. I think that is a perfect matchup here for Missouri in the first round to be able to avoid an upset. Then Texas will move on past UC Santa Barbara. Virginia Tech will move on past the winner of St. Bonaventure and Boise State, which I think would be Boise State. Then West Virginia will beat Winthrop. Then we're going to have Rutgers moving on past Seton Hall, and then Alabama moving on past Sam Houston State. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Ohio State moving on past Louisville, Texas moving on past Missouri, West Virginia moving on past Virginia Tech, and then Rutgers pulling off the 7-2 upset over Alabama. I mean, that one can come back to bite me in the butt. Alabama's been playing some great basketball. I mean, they did just score 115 points this past week, but I believe in Rutgers a lot this year. I feel like I'm on an island here, but I think that Rutgers can move on and pull off the 7-2 upset of Alabama. Then first spot in the Elite Eight, we will have Ohio State here moving on past Texas. And then I'm going to go with Rutgers moving on to the Elite Eight as well over West Virginia, which sets up a Big Ten Elite Eight matchup of Ohio State and Rutgers. But I do think that Rutgers run will come to an end there, and I think Ohio State fans would light me on fire if I did pick Rutgers to beat them. Ohio State will move on to the Final Four out of that region. But then over for a spot in the national championship, we will have Gonzaga moving on past Ohio State and Baylor moving on past Michigan, which sets up the inevitable. As Thanos said, I am inevitable, if you're talking about Gonzaga or Baylor. But I flip-flop between these two teams every single bracketology that I do because I don't remember which one that I picked in the last one because I always flip-flop between the two. But as of right now, I'm going to go with Gonzaga moving on and winning the national championship game. Baylor's been dealing with a COVID pause since I think February 2nd. I think they're supposed to come back and start playing this weekend against Oklahoma State. Don't quote me on that. But just because of that COVID pause right there, I'm not sure how they're going to be coming out of it on the other end. I mean, they'll still be fantastic, but Gonzaga has been getting those reps in, as you would say, with all these different games. And man, that team is just looking fantastic. So Gonzaga will win the national championship as of right now. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did. Make sure you follow those steps in the description below and at the beginning of the video to enter this giveaway. I don't want to say NCAA tournament ticket giveaway. That's what I've been saying over the last years, but we can't do that this year. I'll just be saying the 6,000 subscriber giveaway. How about that? The 6,000 subscriber giveaway. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.